What's going on, Imperials? It's Emperor Cubone here. There are hundreds of different Pokemon moves out there. Some of them you'll hate, and others will be your go-to favorites. The best move in the entire game to me is Earthquake. 100 base power, 100% accuracy, and 10 power points to use makes it almost unbeatable. You know, unless you're a flying type or have Levitate. But another of my favorite attacks is Ice Beam. It's a great coverage move on most good Pokemon, with 90 power, 100 accuracy, with 10 PP, and even a 10% chance to freeze the target. However, looking at two of my other favorite moves, they become suspiciously familiar. I also love Thunderbolt and Flamethrower, which have the identical spreads even down to the status condition, just changed out for paralysis or burn. I always knew that I liked these moves, it just took me a while before I realized that they were all the same move, just with different typings. Imagine Tri-Attack split into its separate elements. But this is far from the only example of identically constructed attacks in Pokemon. Similarly, we see the obvious elemental punches and Fang moves. Thunder Fang, Ice Fang, and Fire Fang all have 65 power with 95 accuracy and 15 PP. And these enhanced bites also share a 10% chance to cause their associated status conditions and a chance to flinch their target when moving first. There's also, in my opinion, the superior punches that have 75 power, 100 accuracy with 15 PP, and the same chances to freeze, burn, or paralyze. No flinch though. However, there seems to be more to this one. While all of these fist-related moves are obviously physical, there is a special variant with Signal Beam. This bug-type attack has all the same stats as the punch moves, and even holds a 10% chance to confuse the target, so it does line up pretty perfectly. Some sources also include Relic Song in this because it does match power and accuracy and even has a 10% chance for sleep, but the power points for this signature legendary move is only at 10, so not exact enough for our purposes. So just to close out our trifectas, we have the move Thunder, which right now has 110 power with 70 accuracy and 10 PP. However, its accuracy can be assured by using it in the rain. And it has a 30% chance to paralyze. And all of this holds true for the move Hurricane as well, including the rain accuracy boost, but with a chance to confuse instead. Other moves that used to match this setup are Blizzard, Gunk Shot, and Focus Blast, but over the years they've been tweaked to have different power, PP, and accuracy from the others that are actually the same. Now for some more that will surprise no one, we have Grass Pledge, Fire Pledge, and Water Pledge. They all have 80 power, 100 accuracy, and 10 PP, and can also interact with each other to provide different effects in battle. And of course you have the staple, Quick Attack. This move is 40 base power with 100 accuracy and 30 PP, but of course the reason to use it is the +1 priority that lets you move before the opponent. But other fast-moving attacks include Mach Punch, Aqua Jet, Ice Shard, Bullet Punch, Shadow Sneak, Vacuum Wave, and Accelerock. Interesting that the only special one of them is a fighting type. But some more of my absolute favorites mirror the attack Swift, which is a 60 power move that has 20 PP, but never misses. That's pretty hard to beat. But clones of the move include Aerial Ace, Feint Attack, Magical Leaf, Shockwave, Magnet Bomb, and one that I always forget is like these, Shadow Punch. So if you need to ensure a hit, try out one of these beauties. Other clearly connected moves are the one-hit KO moves, like Fissure, Horn Drill, Guillotine, and Sheer Cold. These moves have only 5 PP and 30 accuracy, but will guarantee a knockout if it lands. However, Sheer Cold does have even lower precision if used by a non-ice type. Another great move is Psychic. It's pretty strong at 90 power with full accuracy and 10 PP, but it also has a 10% chance to lower the target's special defense, to make the next hit even stronger. This setup is also used for Energy Ball, Bug Buzz, and Earth Power, even down to the special defense drop, which works wonders for all of these special moves. And of course we have the classic Hyper Beam, a huge move with 150 base power, 90 accuracy, and 5 PP. but that raw energy comes with the balance of having to recharge on the next turn. These attributes are shared by Frenzy Plant, Blast Burn, Hydro Cannon, Giga Impact, and Rock Wrecker. And also the legendary signature move Roar of Time behaves this way, so keep an eye out for that in the brilliant remakes coming up. Almost as popular is the strong physical move Double Edge with 120 base power, full accuracy, and 15 PP. But the drawbacks for this move is the massive recoil that occurs, damaging you back half of what you did to them. This is the same as the attacks Brave Bird, Flare Blitz, Volt Tackle, and Wood Hammer. I'm not a huge fan of recoil moves, but I cannot deny how much they'll hurt if you get in their crosshairs. There's also the iconic Dig, which is a spread of 80, 100, and 10 points, and of course only hits on the second turn after the Pokemon leaves the field. This is duplicated in the move Dive that does this in the water. These moves also share double damage if attacked by Earthquake, Magnitude, or Surf or Whirlpool respectively. A couple of quick-fire ones, we have False Swipe, which is a 40-100 spread with 40 PP, but also leaves the target with 1 HP. Great for shiny hunting. However, there is the event move Hold Back, which is exactly the same, even down to being a physical normal move, so I'm not sure why they even exist other than different move pools, I guess. Similarly, there is Return, which has 20 PP and 100 accuracy, but is popular for its power being based on a Pokemon's friendship, where the more they like you, the stronger it is. And the inversion of that power structure is Frustration, which would really only be useful at first because the more you use that Pokemon, the weaker the move would become. And speaking of variable damage moves, we have Flail at 15 PP and 100 accuracy, but its power is determined by how much health the user has left, getting stronger as you lose more HP. And this gimmick is seen again with the fighting move Reversal, which explains why I thought it was a lousy move before I knew it behaved in this manner. Another unique option comes with Pluck, which has 60 base power, 100 accuracy, and 20 PP, but on top of damage, if the foe has a berry, the user will eat it and then gain its effects, whether that be health or curing a status condition. This trick is also copied by the move Bug Bite, which surprised me greatly when I found this out by accident on my Caterpie. There's also the multi-hit moves like Fury Attack that has 15 power, 85 accuracy, and 20 PP, but hits between 2 and 5 times in a row. This is replicated in the signature move Barrage, which stinks, but there are better alternatives like Rock Blast that has 25 power, 90 accuracy with only 10 PP, and this is the same for the move Bone Rush as well. And unfairly, there are even better options, with Bullet Seed being 25 power, 100 accuracy with 30 PP, just like the move Icicle Spear as well. Are these moves so clearly better just because their types are notoriously bad? Then we have the move Dragon Tail that has 60 power, 90% accuracy with 10 PP, but of course this move forces the opponent to switch out at the cost of going last in the turn. And this is seen again in the move Circle Throw, in case the name wasn't enough of a clue for you. Another negative priority move is Revenge, which has 60 power, full accuracy, and 10 PP, and of course this move will do double in power if hit first. And of course this happens again with the move Avalanche as well. So with that negative priority, if they use any attack, you'll be sure to do double damage. We all know the move Rollout. It has 30 power with only 90% accuracy with 20 PP, but it builds in power over 5 consecutive moves unless it misses in some way. And there's the less familiar Ice Ball that behaves exactly the same, including being boosted after using a Defense Curl. Flame Charge is a great move with a 50-120 spread, but more importantly, raises speed every time it's used. But these same numbers are also true for the move Struggle Bug as well, which also has a guaranteed stat change. It's just that this time it lowers the special attack of the foe. But I guess that still counts as being the same. The move Thief has a 60-125 layout, but has the added effect of stealing whatever item the opposing Pokemon might be holding, provided you don't have one as well. But there's also the normal type move Covet that behaves the same way with these same numbers. And you knew that this one was coming. U-Turn and Volt Switch are the same move that have 70 power, full accuracy, 20 PP, but most notably switches out the Pokemon back into the party to allow ridiculous amounts of pivoting. Psyshock is a great move with 80, 100, and 10 PP, but of course its damage to the foe is calculated against their defense instead of special defense on this special move. But these numbers are seen again in the new move Body Press. This fighting attack also has alternate calculations by drawing from the user's defense instead of attack. Personally, I would love to see more oddball moves such as these in the future. Thrash is 120 power, fully accurate with 10 PP, and it lasts 2 to 3 turns, but that much strength comes at the cost of confusing you once you're done. This is copied in the moves Outrage and Petal Dance as well. Good old Razor Shell has 75, 95, and 10, but also has the great bonus of a 50% chance to lower the foe's defense and make the next time hit harder. This is duplicated in the far more common Crush Claw move as well. Not to be confused with the attack Crush Grip that has only 5 PP with full accuracy, but the power is determined by how high the user's HP is. This can also be found in the, again, more common move Ring Out. The fighting attack Cross Chop has the huge 185 setup, and is even more devastating because it has a high critical hit ratio, which is identical to the rock move Stone Edge. More high crit moves stem from Slash, which has 70, 120 that is copied into the moves Cross Poison and Psycho Cut, while Night Slash and Shadow Claw share the power and accuracy, but are at a lower 15 for power points. Grass Knot is a popular move, but not for its full accuracy or 20 PP, but rather for its increased damage on heavier targets. This is seen again in the move Low Kick as well. We also have the formerly signature Leaf Blade that has a solid 90, 115, and a high crit ratio. But this layout is found in another signature move of Attack Order. I honestly never knew that these moves were the same, but then again, I've never really used a Vespiquen before, so it's to be expected. Now for some lighter moves, we see Bubble at a 40, 130 spread with a 10% chance to lower the target's speed. But we also see this in Thundershock and Acid, but they instead have a chance to paralyze or lower special defense. And there's the moves Ember and Powder Snow, which can burn or freeze, but they both have 25 PP. There's also the most basic of moves, Tackle, which has 40, 135, and this is the exact same as Pound, Scratch, and Gust. Leafage and Branch Poke are also in this league, but with 40 PP each. And Fairy Wind is out in the cold with a reduced 30 PP for some reason. However, the Icy Wind attack is at 55, 95, and 15, with the added flair of lowering the target's speed. This is also seen in both Electro Web and Mudshot, in case you needed to slow down an opponent with any of these moves. And Snarl shares in these stats, but of course lower special attack instead of speed, so it's just a matter of time before we get the rest of the stats covered in this manner. But there's also Mud Bomb, which along with a 65, 85, 10 setup, instead has a 30% chance of lowering the foe's accuracy. I knew that Mirror Shot was like this too, but apparently Octazooka is just a copy of this move as well. Little Karate Chop has only 50, 100, and 25, but a high crit ratio, and is identical to the move Poison Tail as well. Now we all know the move Stomp with 65, 100, and 20 PP that has a decent 30% chance to flinch a target. But this is perfectly copied in the bug move Steamroller, even down to doing double damage to a foe that has used Minimize. Wake Up Slap is an interesting move. It has 70, 100, and 10, but of course wakes up a sleeping opponent after dealing double damage. This relationship is only found in one other move with Smelling Salts. This move reacts to paralysis, causing double damage and then freeing them from their slowed state. Not sure that one move of double power is worth ridding them of a hindrance, but you do you. We see Sludge Wave is a special 95 power, 100 accurate, 15 PP move, and it has a 10% chance to poison a target, whereas the attack Moonblast has all of the same digits, but instead has a 30% chance to lower a special attack, so not quite the same, but still balanced. Liquidation is a great physical, more recent water move with 85, 100, and 10 spread, but also has a 20% chance to lower defense, as if it wasn't good enough. This dominance is replicated with the brilliant signature Shadow Bone for Alolan Marowak, which is well deserved in my opinion. Giga Drain is a useful trick with 75, 100, and 10, most notably sapping the health from the opponent, half of the damage that you did to them. But this is seen again in another Grass-type move, Horn Leech, and even in the move Drain Punch for non-Grass types. The classic Crunch has 80, 100, and 15, great for coverage, and even a 20% chance to lower defense. But this sounds just like Shadow Ball with a 20% chance to lower special defense. The thing is, most Pokemon that can get Crunch will also get Shadow Ball, but at least they're different attack bases. But speaking of ghost moves, we find Hex at 65, 100, and 10, but this move's power is doubled if the foe has a status condition. This boost is repeated in Venoshock, but only if the target is poisoned, as well as Brine, but this time doubling in power only when the user's health is below half. Did we mention Bite yet? I figured this 60, 125 attack was a one-of-a-kind, especially with its 30% chance to flinch, but little did I know that Woobat ripped it off for its signature Heart Stamp, even the flinching. Not that it matters in Generation 8 anyway, but since we're on Sword and Shield, Voltbeak has 85, 110 while dealing double damage when moving first. But of course, its far more famous fossil counterpart, Vicious Rend, is exactly the same. So this leaves any combination of Resurrection you choose with a monster move to use. One of the few that I figured out on my own was Ancient Power, with 60, 100, and 5, but the standout feature here is of course the 10% chance for an Omni Boost, raising all of your stats by one stage. So it's pretty obvious when this happens on other moves like Ominous Wind and Silver Wind. Huh, maybe they should have named the Rock-type one Ancient Wind. We also find Bubblebeam, which has a solid 65, 120 spread, and has a 10% chance to lower the foe's speed as a good mid-tier attack, that's copied in Aurora Beam with the same chance to lower attack, Psybeam with the same chance to cause confusion, Spark with a 30% chance to paralyze, and Sludge with that chance to poison. The classic Fire Spin has a 35, 85, 15 spread, while also trapping in the target and causing residual damage for 4 or 5 turns. These traits are found in other types, such as Whirlpool and Sand Tomb. Also a good trick is Discharge, with 80, 100, and 15, but it also hits everyone on the field in double battle, which can be useful when you know to plan for it and they don't. But this is also true for the move Lava Plume. An attack that I never use is Dynamic Punch, because while it has 100 power, it's only 50% accurate with just 5 PP. But it does guarantee the target will become confused. This is true of the fire move Inferno as well, but with burns, so not worth the trade-off in my opinion, but I could see if some people would strike that bargain. Hammer Arm has 100, 90, 10, and lowers your speed. Not sure why, but the same is true on the Frosty variant Ice Hammer. We also see the fairly common move Heavy Slam with 100 accuracy, 10 PP, but its power is determined by how much heavier you are over the opponent. The less popular move Heat Crash is just a fire version of this same attack, so I guess Heatran might have his choice between the two moves. The very niche Stored Power has 20, 100, 10, but increases with the more stat boosts that you've received, and the Dark-type Power Trip does the same thing. However, the great move Fire Lash has 80, 115, and always lowers the foe's defense. This desirable trait is duplicated in Lunge, by lowering attack instead, and even Drum Beating to lower speed. It also holds true in the new Apple Acid, which lowers special defense, but unfortunately Grab Apple lowers defense as well. You couldn't just cover the last one, guys? The HM Strength might be underwhelming to most, but its 80, 115 layout has been replicated into X-Scissor, Seed Bomb, and Dragon Claw. The moves Drill Peck and Power Gem are also the same too, but with higher 20 PP. But speaking of HM moves, Surf has 90, 100, and 15, which is exactly the same as the area-hitting Petal Blizzard. And the attacks Hyper Voice and Lane's Wrath are the same, but only with 10 PP. And of course we have Waterfall, at 80, 100, 15, with a 20% chance of flinching, which is the exact same as Dark Pulse. Ironhead has a 30% chance to flinch, and Scald has that probability to burn. Extrasensory has 20 PP now, and a 10% chance to flinch, and Poison Jab is a clone that gives 30% likelihood to poison. And of course, the move Counter has full accuracy with 20 PP, but will deal back double damage the foe did to you, but of course only if they use a physical attack. And the opposite is true for the special variant Mirror Coat. We see the move Overheat has 130, 90%, and 5, which is a huge hit, but also lowers your special attack by 2 stages. And of course, this is seen again in Leaf Storm and Draco Meteor, but is also the signature Fleur Cannon for Magearna. So, since we're at Legendaries, we can see Water Spout and Eruption have 100% accuracy, 5 PP, with higher power the more HP you have. But this is also the case for the move Dragon Energy, which I'll admit I never heard before because I much prefer Regieleki. It's a similar situation to the powerful moves Superpower and Close Combat in 120, 100, and 5, the former lowering attack and defense, and the latter lowering both defenses. But we also see this as the base for Mega Rayquaza's Dragon Ascent. We also find the robust Megahorn and Power Whip with 120, 85, and 10, but is also the setup for Precipice Blades, the signature move for Primal Groudon. The last one we see like this is Super Fang, with 90% and 10 PP, always taking half of whatever health remains. And all of the Tapus get in on this action with their shared move Nature's Madness. But mostly legendary signature moves just copy each other. Like Mist Ball is 70, 100, and 5, with a 50% chance to lower special attack, which is just like the move Luster Purge, which belongs to Latios, so that makes sense, but it lowers special defense instead. This happens all over, with Aeroblast getting copied by Spatial Rend, both having high crit ratios. Sacred Fire was likewise duplicated by Diamond Storm later. Bolt Strike and Blue Flare are obviously the same moves, just like Fusion Bolt and Fusion Flare. All of the Alola mascot moves are the same, with Sunsteel Strike, Moongeist Beam, and Photon Geyser, and even Galar got in on the action with Behemoth Blade, Behemoth Bash, and Dynamax Cannon on Eternatus. Sky Attack used to be a signature move of Moltres before becoming more widespread, but it has 140, 90, and 5, has to charge up first, and has a 30% chance to flinch. This was plagiarized onto the moves Free Shock and Ice Burn in Gen 5, just with a chance to burn or paralyze instead. And of course, Techno Blast and Multi-Attack are the same numbers-wise, and even share the trait of changing the move's type based on compatible hold items. Huh. In that vein, it looks like the move Judgment is actually a copy of Earthquake. I guess it has one after all. So maybe if you forget what a certain move does, you can think of one of its counterparts instead that you know better, so that you can properly strategize in the future. There are some others, like the Let's Go exclusive attacks, and of course all the terrain moves and weather summoning skills, but I was very careful to use attacks in the title, so that we don't have to sit here all day and list every redundant variation of the move Protect. Which is your favorite identical Pokémon attack? Let me know down in the comments. Also be sure to leave a like, share this video, and subscribe so that you too can become an Imperial today. And we'll see you around next time!